wearing on a regular basis.
Well, and even in business formal, I have seen even a little bit more creativity. Would you say that you see that too, and that this is an opportunity you can still be formal, but yet be a little more creative in the way you dress?
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's always going to be the two ends degrees. One is that being too casual, and the other end of the spectrum is what you see in the fashion magazines, especially for gentlemen. One of the things I work with my clients on is finding the things that you can wear and the way you can image yourself that makes sense. I mean, a lot of us are not going to dress the way you see in GQ and a lot of the other men's magazines that may be out there. We're going to need to dress something that is a little bit more realistic. But you can still be creative. You can be creative with the patterns that you use in your shirt. You can be creative with the pocket square. You can be creative with the cufflinks. We don't have that many choices, so you can certainly exemplify some of that and some of the choices that you do make to be creative. Just make sure that you keep it on a pace that is in line and consistent with doing business.
So where would you draw the line between business casual and business formal?
I would say that, again, business casual at a minimum, in my opinion, or I coach my clients to say, is a trouser, is a wool blend trouser, is a cuffed pant with a shoe with a leather sole on it. A shirt, if it's a button-down shirt, whether it be open collar, if it is a golf shirt that you're wearing, make sure you have a couple of buttons done, and then some type of a sport coat or a blazer that complements that outfit. If you want to add a little bit of punch, you can put in a pocket square. If you want to add a little more punch, you could put in French cuffs on a French cuff shirt. All of that, I think, is really where we need to land at the casual end of business casual.
So I guess I hear you saying that khaki pants and Hawaiian shirts probably not where we're going with that.
You know, really, unless you do business in the Hawaiian Islands, I think that's probably not appropriate.
Well,
for
men
other
are
places.
beginning to wear pink shirts. I mean, I'm seeing that, and
that's fine.
and the purple,
Yeah.
and I think that's neat, a flash of color. But I wonder if they'll ever go back to hats.
The derby and the fedora.
I mean, my
type
dad.
of
I
ones.
mean, my grandfather. I just remember my dad. My grandfather. Just when he passed away, he had 15 hats.
I don't think in Texas, where it's 100 degrees in August, that we'll be seeing very
you'll,
much of
yeah,
that.
you'll see more of that on the East Coast,
Right.
if you will, and based upon weather related.
So, you know, I think that there's a confusion between what weekend casual and business casual is, and I think educating the male and even women for that matter on what that is really the key, because there is a huge difference between weekend casual and business casual.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely so, and resort casual and other different categories. When we really talk about business casual or business formal, that's where we're talking about the custom fit, the suit that you're going to have made, that you're going to invest in. I know the work that I do with Jay Hilburn Men's Clothier, I mean, that's what we work with our clients on. In casual, in business casual, and business formal is to make sure they have an appropriate fit. And boy, that is about 9/10 of that equation is to look correctly in the clothing that you do invest in.
Well, and I tell my customers, look, you should be spending as much on a casual shirt as you do on that business dress shirt, because it does really convey. I mean, it still may be comfortable as a casual shirt, but it still does convey the right messages when you have something that fits you precisely the way it should. And I really believe in custom clothing.
Absolutely, and I tell my customers all the time that I work with that, custom doesn't mean, we believe custom to mean expensive. And what it really means is that it fits well and it wears well. And one of the keys that we've had with Jay Hilburn is really cracking that code. For example, most men's dress shirts in a custom boutiques will be between $200 and $500. They take about 12 weeks to make, and most companies have a minimum of 5 to 6 per order. I know
It goes under a suit.
Well,
You really see it.
Right, and the crazy thing about it is the fabrics that all of the shirt companies and manufacturers out there purchase, 85% of them come all from the same mills, whether in Italy or in England.
But they're fine quality.
They're fine quality.
Yeah.
We've been able to crack that code by being able to make it much more affordable to guys. And we want to really revolutionize the way guys dress. Let's make it a step up or two, and that our custom shirts and our custom shirt line go between $79 and $149.
Which is an amazing price.
So you don't have no minimums, and it takes us about 4 weeks to have that handmade, one-of-a-kind garment back
Size
to a guy.
to your
Size
foot.
to the gentleman.
They
absolutely.
measure you from every which way but loose,
telling you that-
and it fits you exactly the way. you
Exactly the way it does, yeah.
And you can really, and it really non-verbally conveys a message that you care about what you look like.
Well, I always tell my clients, you know, your clothes are an investment in the way that you purchase them, the quality that you buy. You know, look, I'd rather you have 4 or 5 great custom shirts that we do at J. Hilburn than 11 or 12 of them that you hardly wear at all.
Right.
And if you have the proper care of them and the maintenance and those type of things, your garments are going to last you for a long time.
Do you have to send them out dry cleaned every time?
Well, I tell you, I'll give you a couple of quick tips on dry cleaning and laundering. For shirts, first of all, for men's dress shirts, I absolutely believe in a cold water wash and a no starch press. Cold water keeps it from shrinking, and there's already starch running through the machines of the dry cleaner. You're going to get a very good press. The finer the finer quality the garment, the better press you're going to get. For dry cleaning, unless you have soiled the garment, unless you've dropped the mustard stain or the pizza tomato sauce or whatever it is, when you go to the dry cleaner, ask for a press only. You're going to save 70 cents to $1, so you're not saving a whole lot over dry cleaning. But what you're going to do is keep those dry cleaning chemicals out of the garment, which breaks it down.
Oh, so
Right.
actually having them done too often can...
Exactly, and what you'll do, sometimes you'll see a gentleman walking down the street, and they have a real sheen and shine to their garment. It's not really because it's a $5,000 Baroni suit, but it's because they've had it dry cleaned so often
Right.
that the fibers have matted down
Wow.
and really become slick looking.
And even in your suits, I know guys that, you know, perspire a little bit in them and then they take them to the dry cleaner, whereas if they're wool or wool blend and you hang them out, they actually reshape themselves and they air themselves out, and really you destroy your suits by dry
Absolutely
cleaning
so.
them too
Yeah,
often.
the finer the garment is, the more hand construction there is in the garment, like a suit or a shirt, the more that's going to mold to your body based upon your body temperature.
I didn't know that. I bet that's true
Absolutely.
for women's jackets
Yeah,
and suits
it
too.
really is.
Absolutely,
So-
and the airing out concept is definitely a very good thing to do.
And there's always Febreze.
I also have all my garments soft pressed rather than the regular. And that's,
Susan Sageman was talking about having her garments soft pressed rather than the regular press, and especially in women's clothing. One of my pet peeves is the crease down the arm. And I started my career in the film industry where I was taught by a wardrobe stylist how to press, and actually it looks much nicer if you don't have that crease down the middle of the arm. So most dry cleaners do that. So a soft press is going to help with some of that. So.
Yeah, another tip for gentlemen on ties, when we soil the tie, unfortunately, that has to be a disposable part of our garments, because if you take that to a dry cleaner, you've got a pretty good chance in that tie is going to be ruined in the way they press it. Nothing against the dry cleaning company itself. It's just what happens to that silk when it gets pressed and
Right.
it gets heated and you try to chemically treat it. It's difficult.
And that's why I don't mind seeing a guy with his tie thrown over his shoulder at lunch. I'm
You-
like,
if-
okay, I got it. You know?
If we ever had lunch, I actually tuck my tie inside
Right,
my
right,
shirt, and that's
right.
just the way it's going to have to be.
Well, one of the other things I wanted to